What's up, heroes? In honor of Kobe Bryant's birthday, I want to break down the Mamba mentality and what it means to just peer into the mind of greatness. And the Mamba mentality is like Kobe's manifesto. It's broken down into five parts. It's fearlessness, obsessiveness, resilience, relentlessness, and passion. And what I would like to do is over the next 5 days, do a five-part series breaking down each of his five core elements of the Mamba mentality. And if you don't know what, first of all, if you aren't familiar with Kobe, Kobe is arguably one of the greatest basketball presences, people on earth, players on earth. He kind of revolutionized modern basketball, and it's through his this discipline that he had of, I mean, gosh, like whenever you thought of Kobe, uh, the first thing that came to mind was discipline. And so he came up with his alter ego he called the Mamba, Black Mamba. And Black Mamba was just this fearless force that nobody could mess with. And so he wrote a book to break down his Mamba mentality, what it took to become as great as he did. And one of the first, and probably the one that stands out to me the most, of his five core disciplines was obsessiveness. So I want to talk a little bit today about what obsessiveness means and how it played a role in Kobe becoming who he is. My name is Jarvis. If you're unfamiliar with me, I'm the morning hero. I teach people how to maximize their time and maximize their life. And if you're interested in learning a step by step process to take back control of your day, you can go to themorninghero.com, where I break down 5 ways to wake up by 5 a.m. every day so you have more time to get more stuff done. And go ahead and subscribe below because I go live every day sharing tips, tricks, strategies, and hacks on you can get the most out of life. So go ahead and subscribe below and comment and let me know what you think of this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts because, again, I go live every day, and so I take that into consideration in all my videos. So obsessiveness. Kobe talks about, he shares these stories about how anyone that came to the court on the days that there's a game, sometimes players would get to the court. They would try to get to the court early. And of course, they get to the court and, there's 3-4 hours before the game starts. They'd get there and Kobe's already there. He's already there shooting around. He's already hustling. He's already got sweat going. And the players would think to themselves, man, okay, Kobe's here. Let me start shooting around. Let me get some practice in. Let me kind of show him something, kind of try to intimidate him a little bit before the game. And these players would share stories about how they would be on the court practicing for 2-3 hours, expecting that he's going to leave and that they would outlast him, and he would still be on the court until finally they had to leave because they had to prepare and get ready for the game. He was still on the court. And then the game would come and he would still score 40 points on him in the game. So he was there 4 hours before the game practicing. Then the game would come and he would crush them all in the game. And then he would stay afterward and shoot free throws after the game. And someone went up to him afterwards and they asked him, say, Kobe, dude, what's up with you, man? You were here 4 hours before the game and then you dropped 40 on us. And now you're out here shooting free throws, man. Like, why are you doing this? And his answer is, just to show you that you can't outlast me. Like, Kobe had this obsessive mindset of the game of basketball. Like, no one would be better than him. No one could outlast him. No one had more grit and fortitude than him. He was obsessed over the game. And that's really what obsession is. Obsession is when something just completely consumes you. It takes every spare one of your brain molecules. Everything is focused on this one thing. Anytime that you can become obsessed over something, like, you hit this magic zone where all of a sudden in your spare time, like, it's so deeply rooted in your subconscious that even when you're not thinking about it, your subconscious is thinking about it. Your subconscious is trying to find ways to tackle this problem or to get better at this thing. And that's where the magic sauce happens, because Most of your mental power is all dedicated to your subconscious. Like the studies show that only 10% of what we do is conscious. And that conscious is when you're actively trying to think about something or trying to do something. That's your conscious mind. Subconscious is everything that's going on in the background. And so your subconscious controls everything you do, from the fact that you can walk and talk on the phone at the same time. You're walking, you're not even thinking about walking, it just happens. You can drive and eat at the same time. You don't even have to think about driving anymore. It just happens because your subconscious takes over and it takes care of it. And so the majority of the things we do is driven by our subconscious. Obsession is when you can when this topic is so deeply rooted that your subconscious takes over, and now it forms a mastery around it. Now you're dreaming about it at night. Now you're washing dishes and your subconscious mind is thinking and churning about this topic. Like, that's what obsession is. Obsession is every spare moment your brain is thinking about that thing. Now, for some people, for like Kobe, his obsession was basketball. And so everything he thought about, every down moment he had, he was trying to figure out how to get better at basketball. But how can you have that same Mamba mentality, that same obsession about whatever it is that you're trying to become an expert at? Like me, my obsession is achieving goals and productivity and trying to hack life to get the most out of it. And for me, the way that materializes, that I am obsessed over it, and I'm always constantly trying to consume more information, trying to learn everything I can, reading books, listening to podcasts. Like, every available moment, I'm consuming something to help myself grow in that area. And 2 years ago, I recognized that I was obsessed over this, meaning I had officially like locked it into my subconscious to the point where I dream about it at night. I wake up thinking about new ideas and new ways and new strategies of how to get, get more productive, or to get better and to grow in some way. I'm obsessed over it. And that comes from constantly consuming information, everything from everything I watch on TV to everything I'm looking up on the computer. To, if you looked at all my Google searches right now, it's all on motivation and discipline and how to beat procrastination and how to better manage your time. Like, what's on your Google searches? If I looked in your Google search history, like, that's how you can tell when someone's obsessed over something. And so obsession comes when everything you consume is on that topic, and you just become, like, you just have this desire to become an expert at that thing. Then you'll hit this magic zone where all of a sudden you officially have planted it into your subconscious, and your subconscious takes over. And now you're walking down the street and boom, you got some new ideas for that thing that you're trying to become an expert at. You're cleaning, you're sweeping the house, and boom, you've got a new idea, or inspiration hits you, or you got a aha moment, or a revelation comes in. Like, that's where obsession comes from, is where you're doing random, not mundane things, and all of a sudden something hits you. And that comes from you just having this maniacal focus that everything you want to consume, everything you're doing is related to some topic. So how can you relate this to yourself? What can you have a Mamba mentality over? What are you trying to become an expert at? What do you need to become an expert at to get to the next level, to get to that next tier for yourself, that next advancement? And then how can you become obsessed over it? Everything you search for, everything you watch, everything you follow on social media should all be related to that topic. And then that all the imagery, everything you're feeding yourself, everything you're putting into your brain is all around this one thing. And then you hit this magic zone where it officially gets deeply rooted into your subconscious. And now you're obsessed over it. And now you've officially on your way to mastery, like Kobe Bryant. I hope this helped you. If it did, go ahead and let me know. What's your comments below? What is your ideas on obsession, and how do you become obsessed over something like Kobe was obsessed over basketball? And this is just part one Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about fearlessness and what you can do to harness the Mamba fearless attitude. Until tomorrow, this is Jarvis. Encourage you to do more, be more, and achieve more than you ever have before. All right, hero, now it's your turn. Go out there and save the world. And I'll see you in the next video.